Ever wonder why home sales fall apart before they get to the closing table? In the Pittsburgh area, there are 6 main reasons and things that continually come up that blow deals up here in our market. We're gonna go through those right now. The number one deal killer that we see in our local market are sewer lines. Yep, that's right, sewer lines. A lot of the Pittsburgh area was built 70 years ago, 100 years ago, 120 years ago. We have older housing stock, and when those homes were built, they were built with terracotta sewer lines. And so what happens over time is roots tend to get into them. We see cracks, we see breaks, and those sewer lines start to seep water out into the groundwater. And in our market, we have now dye testing requirements. Most boroughs, most municipalities, and soon to be all of them are going to require a camera test in order to sell your home. And so the reason for this is a lot of the boroughs, the municipalities were tied into the Watershed Act. And so all of the groundwater that ends up in our rivers flows all the way to the Mississippi River. And so due to government regulations and things like that, they must now, the boroughs, the municipalities are putting it on the sellers to ensure that the gray water and the brown water is going where it is supposed to be going. And so we are now having to have all of our sewer lines checked before sale to make sure there are no cracks, breaks, roots, things like that. And so we are seeing costly repairs on a lot of the home sales in our market, and they're reaching anywhere from $5,000, $10,000. It's not uncommon to see a $20,000 sewer line repair. You know, you have a home you're selling in the city of Pittsburgh. It sits on the side of the hill. You have to cut into the main road. It can be a costly item for sellers in our market, and it is the number one deal killer right now that we see in the Pittsburgh area. The number two thing that we see happen and see come up on a regular basis here in the Pittsburgh area that blows deals up is water in the basement. Most of these older homes, they were built with concrete block foundations, and that concrete block is not waterproof. It's not made to keep water out, and eventually over time, if we don't have proper drainage and the water is not flowing away from the property, or there are no exterior drains on the property that's making sure the water's flowing away from the home, eventually it's going to make its way into the basement. You often see this with, again, the old terracotta lines were also the stormwater lines. And so they fill up, they get clogged with leaves and things like that. They freeze in the winter, they crack the terracotta lines, and now the water overflows where the downspouts connect into the ground, and naturally that water seeps out and eventually it makes its way into your basement. And so we have more and more water issues that come up on a regular basis in our market because of the older homes that we have. We have sandstone foundation in a lot of our homes in the city. It's going to seep water. Like it's not a waterproof foundation system. And so the only real way to make sure that you're gonna have a dry basement is to have an interior French drain done with a sump pump and make sure that you're going to have a dry basement. So if you're buying a home in the Pittsburgh area, just know water's gonna be one of those things that we're gonna have to deal with. Do they have an interior drain already? If they do, great. That means they've already rectified a lot of those situations. Sometimes people get turned off by that, when in fact, they should be happy with the fact that some of the work has already been done, because these basements are not waterproof. The foundations, concrete blocks, sandstone foundations are not waterproof, and eventually we're gonna deal with water at some point in time. So don't be surprised when an inspection report's gonna show some kind of water in the basement. A lot of times when we're walking through a basement with our clients, we're looking for that. I'm looking in the corners, where's the high side of the street, where the ground is higher than, usually you're on a hill here in the Pittsburgh area, so one side's gonna be higher than the other. That's generally where you're gonna see some water coming into the basement, those front corners. And so we're gonna look for a lot of that, but sometimes it's behind walls, we can't see it, and so we certainly wanna test for that. But the number two deal killer that we see in our market is obviously, it's always water in the basement. The number three thing, it goes right hand in hand with number two, is when we have water flow issues, we tend to eventually get foundation issues. And so what happens, we have a concrete block foundation, and the water continually is coming in and it's sitting next to the home and it's got nowhere for it to go. That water in the winter, it freezes, it pushes out on the foundation. And over time, you start to get cracks in your foundation. And so water and foundation issues generally are going to go hand in hand. So an interior drain, a lot of times it's gonna allow the water, they're actually gonna drill holes in the bottom of your foundation to make sure that that water does come in, it alleviates the pressure from the wall, it's gonna go into the drain, and the sump pump is going to shoot it out. However, sometimes we may be past that point already. and the foundation issues are already there. And so as we start to have inspections done and we're getting into the crux of the inspection and what are the major issues, a lot of times foundation walls are going to be a major issue, and we can usually see those with the naked eye. You're going to see cracks, and they're going to measure to see if there's any bowing in that. And so a lot of times we see corrections being made are wall anchors or carbon fiber straps, or it may be a combination of the two. Generally, if you're getting water in the basement and your foundation is having issues, you might need a drain and some kind of wall anchor system. And that's generally going to take care of the two. Give 3 different appraisers of property to appraise and you're going to get 3 different values. There is no exact price, it's an opinion of value. And sometimes it's not an easy process. It's continually getting harder and harder here in our market. And so if there's anything that we can do, or you want the help of a professional when buying or selling, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help.